Dancy remix, page 444.
Welcome to take 444, another dose of psychedelia, and we are in the letter E, and we're starting this week with a record that is not shown very much, doesn't get too much love, but I think it's really good, and that is Earth Island and We Must Survive. This came out on Philips in 1970, and it's a gatefold. It's got a great Psych gatefold with the bison there. They're a band from Hollywood, on the Philips label. So, like I say, 1970, but it was recorded in '69, and it could quite easily have come out in '68. Really, it's a pop psych album, but there's a lot of psych on it, and it's really much better than its lowly reputation, I think. First of all, it's got a fantastic psych cover. I think that's great. I've always really liked that. Sort of visual palindrome, I guess you'd call it. But yeah, I really rate this. It's produced by Kim Fowley, hence the Hollywood connection, I guess. And one of the people listed on it is Skip Battin, who was played with the Byrds. But I read online that he actually didn't have anything to do with it. He's listed as playing bass, I think, but he didn't actually play on it. So yeah, it's a good album, and it's still fairly cheap. Definitely worth picking up. Great vocals. Good songwriting, and yeah, I think it deserves a lot more love. This is not a fantastic copy, a bit slightly beaten up, but I think it's still fairly cheap, and for a good West Coast, slightly later West Coast sort of album that sounds like it's recorded in '68, it's worth investigating. Next up is an English band from, I think this is 1991. This is The Ectomorph, on Warren Zoe Records. It's a signed copy. So this came out in 1991, I'll say, on the Bevis Bronze Warren Zoe Records. So that's the cool label. Yeah, this is a typical early 90s psych album from the UK. Pop psych, good songwriting, takes, I guess, its mid-period Beatles sort of as a starting point. Female vocals, the flute, lots of 12-string guitar. That's the band. They didn't last very long, but they put out this one album, and it's got great cover. The album's called The Furious Sleeper, which again is a great name for a band, for an album. It comes with some inserts. So it had, what do we have here? So yeah, this is the timing sheet, came with it, and lyric sheets are typical of the time, DIY, and DIY sort of produced stuff, and this rather cool poster that came with it. So this came out at the same time as an album by a band called The Flight Reaction. It was all linked up with Bevis from Nick Solomon's record label Warren Zoe, and the Ptolemaic Terrascope, which was the British sort of psychedelic magazine of the late 80s, early 90s, I think, to the end of the century. I think it was going in print, and now it's online. They used to come out sort of a few times a year. I have all my copies upstairs in the loft, and it came out with a single each time. And they would, it wasn't just about new stuff, so they would have interviews with people from UK Kaleidoscope, Peter Daltrey, that sort of thing. And the old thing, I remember they did an interview with Charlie Watts, and but all sorts of stuff, lots of record reviews, which is where one of the places that I first started getting an idea about what the landscape of psychedelia in the 60s, and I think they're still fairly easy to get hold of. They're easily available on Discogs, only for a few quid, and they each had a, like I say, a solid 7-inch single which had some fantastic music on it. Anyway, that's the Ectomorph and Furious Sleeper. So next up is I was going to say a psychedelic monster. It's pretty well known to those of us who care about these things, and a little bit of a sort of small grail, as they would say, but it's the fantastic Eternity's Children. So this is from 1968, produced by Kurt Botcher of the Millennium fame and Sagittarius, and this is fantastic. Yeah. So they're a band from, I think they're from Mississippi originally. Let me just check. Yeah, from Mississippi originally. They moved to Los Angeles. Great site cover there. On Tower, like I say, and it's yeah, female vocals, very similar to the Millennium, but with female vocals. And it's absolutely fantastic. Brilliant songwriting. This is their second album. I've never seen a copy of the first. It's not been sold on Discogs as far as I know, and this one hasn't been sold on Discogs for a long time either. It's pretty hard to get hold of, but it should be re-released because it's fantastic. It definitely needs a reissue. Fantastic, like I say, songwriting, instrumentation. There we go, on Tower. This is like I said, really good copy, apart from the spine split. It's unfortunately, but other than that, it's the rest of it is sort of VG plus, I would say. Check out Eternity's Children. Next up is a bit of a curiosity. This is I think it's the second album by Every Mother's Son. It's called Every Mother's Son's Back. It's got this gimmick sleeve. So this is a soft pop psych album from '67. This is their second album from '67, I think. I think they had quite a big hit in the States, but I don't know what the song was. But they totally unknown over here. They just doesn't translate to English sort of English ears, I suppose. Back in the '60s, maybe they weren't pushed, but it's got some decent psych touches on it. Track Only Child, I think, is the one that's got some great fuzz on it.
Better than living the dream in my life. Only child, a barrel of love, with one object in mind. Make you laugh, fall in love, but don't waste any time.
very clean-cut college boys. I think they were from New York. And it's a decent album. It's pop from the late 60s with those psych touches that we like. This one's got a few psych touches, but not a huge amount. But if you see it for very little, I would pick it up. I got this for just a few quid, and you know, I guess the gatefold gimmick cover is in really good condition. I think that's probably something that is quite hard to find. I imagine that they got shredded back in the day. And then next up, we've got and playing in the background is the amazing Erkin Koray from Turkey. Sadly died a couple of years ago. So this guy was going in the early 70s up until sort of 10 years ago or so. And he was a Turkish guitarist, sort of underground psychedelic guitarist that's had one or two hits and formed some bands in Turkey, but is mostly well known being a solo artist. Fantastic cover there. So this one's called Sachi, I think that's probably how you pronounce it. But I've also got, and this is playing in the background, this one, Halimem. So he was kind of a lot of fuzz guitar in it, quite a lot of organ. It's all sung in Turkish, although he did do one or two covers. But he was inspired by Cream and Hendrix, and you can really tell that. So the one that I'm playing at the moment is a collection of. This is the hype sticker on it. So it's a collection of 7-inch tracks from 70 to 72. It's just kind of music that I can imagine people were having their heads blasted on the magic bus from Istanbul to Kathmandu back in the early 70s. This coming out of the radio. It's good stuff. Like I say, I really like it. He's produced. These are the two albums I've got of his are both compilations. This one and this is a double album. So that's the hype sticker there. Whether you can read that. Yeah, it's all. And I wouldn't be able to pick out any tracks because they're all about the same quality. They're all very good, kind of psychedelic Turkish pop from the early 70s. There were a lot of Turkish bands that he inspired around that time, and quite a few of them came out on a compilation, which I won't go into too much detail now, but I'll do a video of compilations sometime in the future. And that's the Turkish. I've got a couple of other Turkish compilations, but Erkin Koray is on this one as well. A Z of Psychedelia Anadolu is the name of that one. It's if you're interested in that sort of thing, it's very, very good, I think, and it's quite fresh to the ears. If you've had an overfill of Western pop or Western psychedelic rock, it's a good addition to your taste buds, I think, and I really like it, and I've quite got into it recently. These two compilations actually came out. I mean, these are new, but they came out about 10 or 15 years ago originally, I think. But check out Erkin Koray and dig the cool sleeve. That's all for this week's episode, and I'll see you all soon. Like and subscribe, and let me know what you think. I'll leave you some Erkin Koray in the background. Bye bye.
Thank